Hello, baddies. So, today I would like for you to meet Cupcake Brown. I want to speak about Cupcake Brown because a large part of BWE, what I believe BWE to be, is a major conglomerate of different things that can empower Black women. And I know there are different sectors and everybody has their own thing. And my thing is being self-invested. And I think BWE helps Black women to become more invested in themselves. I know there are a lot of people on here, male and female, Black, yes, they hate Black women. And I'm here because I want Black women not to hate themselves, because I don't believe that you could have a message saying that you want Black women to be better than what they are, while also constantly having ill will and a venomous hatred in your heart that amounts to no more than vitriol for Black women. You don't like Black women that have been through anything. You don't like Black women that have ever even attempted to be with a Black male. You don't like Black women that have birthed Black children. And so I said all of that to say Cupcake Brown is a true inspirational story. I read her book when I was younger. I was way young, probably like 11 or so. And if it weren't for books like this, I'm an avid reader. And if it weren't for books like hers, a little Black girl such as myself wouldn't probably even have had the outlooks on life that I had. Because when she was young, her mother, her name is Cupcake because, first of all, her mom had a huge craving for cupcakes when she was pregnant with her. And she ate them so much. So, when she was giving birth to her, she actually wanted more cupcakes, and they thought that that's what they wanted to name her, but she wanted more cupcakes. So Cupcake Brown, she has been through it all, and none of it she asked for. She was a young girl. Her mother choked on her tongue. She had seizures. She was an epileptic. She passed away. Her no good father ended up taking custody of her, but then tossing her out on the streets. She had no choice but to hitchhike. She was hitchhiking, and then she came across people who meant no good for her. She ended up falling into a life of crime. She ended up becoming a gangbanger. She ended up becoming a prostitute. And it was a woman who thrusted her toward a life of prostitution. Despite all of the things that she went through, being a gangbanger, taking drugs, the abuse that she faced. She was R-worded by her foster brother. I mean, that book still lives with me in my memory to this day. But despite all of that, Cupcake Brown decided to change her life around for the better. And she didn't believe that she was smart. She didn't believe that she could be anything. But one day, after hitting rock bottom, she decided to change her life around. She got her law degree and she became a lawyer. Now, if that's not BWE, I don't know what is. And I don't give a freaking flying crap what anybody has to say. Oh, BWE, blah, 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 you know, whatever you want to say what you want to say. But I admire and I love black women because we have been through it all. And still we rise. Like the great said, Maya Angelou, still we rise. And it is for that reason that one of my favorite quotes is, and if you've seen it in one of my prior videos, I shared it. It was a quote. And this goes, despite her own, I saw the victory in the sister who refocused her own life to help others despite her own personal tragedy. And that is what I believe is the true epitome of BWE. Yes, we all have opinions and we're all gonna say what we think and what we feel, but you can feel also the hatred that certain content creators have towards black women, and you can tell who really cares. So I want black women to stay self-invested because it's the best investment you could ever make.
It's one woman's extraordinary journey. It began on the streets of South Central Los Angeles and led all the way to one of the Bay Area's most prestigious law schools.
I'm what they call a trash can junkie. I'd do anything. I tooted heroin, smoked crack cocaine, I snorted powder cocaine, I've done PCP, angel dust, acid, pills, uppers, downers, methamphetamines, crystal.
Name the drug. She did it. Her name is Cupcake Brown, and her life has been anything but sweet. This tattered diary tracked the wasted years of life as a prostitute and gangbanger.
We went over Ricky's house and got bowed and shermed. Me, Ricky, Jackie, Egg, and Denise were standing in front of Ricky's when these 60s drove by. They waited 20 minutes, then came back and busted. Me and Ricky got shot. It was a f***ed-up night.
That night was 2 bullets and 22 years ago when Cupcake was only 14 years old. And it was almost enough to get her to change her life.
The police that came to the scene didn't want to take me to the hospital because they said I'd be a dead nigga in a year. And it made me realize how insignificant my life was to society.
It took Brown another 11 years after the shooting to get herself together. She's now clean, sober, and a student. She's at the top of her class at USF and works as a clerk at a prestigious law firm while finishing her law degree. Do you sometimes look in the mirror and go, who are you? Where'd you come from?
Actually, quite often. I mean, I finished my second year of law school in the top 15, but my entire first year I was in the top 10. And it just blew me away because I thought it was dumb.
I just thought I'd stop by and see how you're doing.
Okay.
Not dumb, nor ashamed of her past,
Yes.
even though it can sometimes be an ever-present problem with some people.
A lot of times, they're okay with me until they find out who I used to be. Like, they find out, you know, they think, oh, she's so nice and she's so funny, and then they find out she used to be a crackhead, and they grab their purse. You know, she used to be a prostitute, and they grab their husband.
But those people are the exception, as there are many fans of the future lawyer. Linda Clarity is the assistant dean at USF's law school.
She's always so much fun when she comes in, and it has a very positive attitude, or I should say very positive impact on her classmates, on the faculty, just about on everyone and everything that she touches.
I've hitchhiked from Simi Valley to San Diego before and back. I mean, I was all over Southern California.
Brown's world now is far from the one that nearly killed her so many times, so many years ago. And even though the layers of that life continue to fall away, there will always be reminders of the past, enough of them to keep her looking ahead and looking after others.
I was talking to a high school once, and I thought I wasn't getting through to the kids. You know, they just seemed to be sleeping and nobody was paying attention. I thought, okay, maybe I'm too old. And I was leaving, and as I was leaving, one of the girls came outside, and she stopped me, and she just had tears in her eyes, and she said, you know, I want to thank you for sharing your story. And she said, I've had to turn a trick or two to feed my little brother and sister. And I thought I could never get over that. I thought I would be judged for that for the rest of my life. And she said, hearing your story let me know, okay, you did what you had to do. There's some other ways to do this. You're going to be okay. And it was just, I felt like it was God's way of telling me, you know what, even if you only touch one, you're doing what you're supposed to do. I just tell them, you know, I just tell them the truth.
And that truth has set Cupcake Brown free.
What a wonderful
She's
story.
phenomenal.
Inspirational.